breakout hardpoint, and for me, this scares me if I'm a Splyce fan because they have a rough history with this map in North America and in general.
That's right. It was what the phase match. Didn't you cast that? It was something like 250 to 27.
22.
One of the worst performances we've seen in a hardpoint, or the best if you're a phase fan. But you got to think, usually when you get pounded like that, it sticks in your mind, right? Maybe you spend more time prepping for it, spend more time getting better at that particular map and mode. You got to think they come here more prepared, buddy.
You got to think that. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our final match of prime time here in Atlanta, and I know there's a crowd out there on Friday night. It's going to be a great weekend here. It's Optic Gaming against Splyce on Breakout Hardpoint.
And looking back to that key player matchup, we're kicking things off with MadCat. We'll see as they push top middle. Trophies out, trying to find kills at loading. One in front, shots on point. Second there as well. Able to pick him up, and a nice start from MadCat as Jerd finds one as well. Early time going to be going to Splyce.
And you can see they're expecting Karma to be in this outer lane. There, Karma does get one kill on the Bance, but now MadCat feeling quite confident in his abilities to go ahead and challenge this play.
I thought he jumped off
the map. I thought he just jumped off the map.
That looked like, you know when you get that feeling like you lose your stomach for a second?
Yeah.
You hit a hill, you look like down off of something high. Like right there, I thought he was just taking a dive off.
Oh, yeah.
But he manages to stay on. No points yet for Optic Gaming. And MadCat 3-0. Keeping an eye on this outer wall run, maybe looking to push the flank in. This is big because these fights trying to get from behind, you're already thinking about flipping spawns getting ready. I mean, I know there's 15 seconds left, but this is perfectly to find a kill and try to flip these spawns in their favor for cell block.
Yeah, this is actually the exact opposite of a start that I saw from Optic Gaming in their match earlier on this map, where this was Karma basically the last time with the help of Formal going for this back garage area. Now though it's MadCat all the way behind, and Optic, I don't think they have any clue.
And look at the spot, look at the spot.
Yeah, and
that's
now,
Josh popping up with him.
Yeah, MadCat's got help here. Unfortunately though, Crimsix pre-aiming this back door. Optic Gaming wind up predicting it. Now MadCat's left last alive. He should force one spawn out for Optic Gaming towards middle, but still his teammates are coming all the way from Commissary. A tough spot for Splyce to be in.
Yeah, I mean, as much as he gave Josh that one spawn, they needed to do something with it, right? Because now he almost ends up not being involved in the action, because his team keeps spawning out, keeps spawning out, keeps spawning out. As he's just hiding, trying to give them the spawns, doesn't end up working out. They had one opportunity to take advantage of that. It doesn't go their way.
And this Optic Gaming team, look at the streak they're now on combined. A 12 streak. They've started to take over the slang. Karma just loves playing these outer wall runs, but either way, they're now kicking it into gear after a slow first hard point. Will now move towards this graveyard area. Scump, the first player here, and he's going to get challenged by 2 from Splyce.
Can we talk a little bit about Scump? You know, I think it's fair in saying that the worst event I've seen him have in his career, at least that I have been a part of casting, was Vegas. He's frustrated. His KD was way down from what we expect from him. What have you seen different in his gameplay as of the past, well, let's say past month or so?
I think that he's way more confident, one, in his roles on this team. I think Optic Gaming's practice has fully paid off. They were underprepared, and I think Scump was probably the least prepared for that first event. In regards to how much he used to play, it's always been known that Scump grinds Call of Duty more than any other. Prior to that event, it just did not happen. And I think he realized that he needs to get that back into his current play to be able to have those good weekends. And so far, with the start, he's had a 1.46 hardpoint KD here on day 1. He's definitely back in action.
And we talked about the big streaks from the squad earlier. You've got 4 up for Krim and Karma right now. The Scarab out, trying to find some kills or at least push them back from applying pressure, able to do so. Let's go over to Karma if we can. Never mind, he just ends up dropping, so he ends on a 6 streak at 13-3. And you know, if you're new to competitive Call of Duty and maybe you haven't watched this Optic Gaming side much, the scariest thing is how basically every single player on this team has the ability to go off. Right?
Oh, not only do they have the ability to go off, but they're all doing it right now. Every single player positive. One thing I do want to highlight from Splyce, they're down by about 50 seconds. But their 2 players who were in the COD Champs Grand Finals in 2016 are right now combined for 7 and 19. That's Vance and Josh. You need more from these 2, as that is just not acceptable against the likes of Optic Gaming.
Vance, widely considered the best player in Europe. I think we tend to agree with him. Zero in that conversation. MadCat as well. But Vance last year was just on another level, man. I know you talked about Josh. He was using the ERAD quite a bit in London. You talked about how he was destroying. What was it that was special about him just a couple weeks ago?
It was entirely about his positioning. He knew exactly where to bring himself to get advantageous gunfights, but I think even more than that was teams were not ready for it. They were really the only squad using the ERAD. As the weekend went on, other teams tried to bring it out, but no one was as prepared as Josh was with the weapon, and it showed in his gameplay. It was a reason why Splyce got to that second best of 5 in their grand finals, falling just short. Right now, though, Splyce are clawing back into things, down by about 25 seconds.
You know, we just saw a bit of a stint there with Formal. I just want to read off some stats that we saw for him thus far. He has a 1.43 overall KD in respawns, leading his entire team. A 1.23 in search and destroy, leading his entire team. He has the most hardpoint defense, the most hardpoint time. He's having one hell of a Friday.
You always just have to bring up all the good stats from Formal. You know, he can do no wrong.
Oh, aren't these facts? Well, look at Bance now. He has been. But it's an 8 streak for Bance here. He's got bombardment, Trinity Scarab to work with, and the close gunfight going in his favor. They're bounced right back. We might see a lead change here, buddy.
And guess what? Remember I talked about Josh and Bance needed to turn up. You saw them on a combined 10 streak right there. As they get more involved, Splyce take back the lead. As Optic Gaming's momentum from earlier on, this one has just completely flattened on out. Can they begin to claw back into things, though, as they wrap towards this cell blocks hardpoint?
All right, well, we're getting ready for the rotation out. We'll take a look at the minimap just to see where the gunfights are going to be going down. It looks like you've got a lot of yellow in the hardpoint, but it was Crim6 you'll see in the kill feed picking up 2 big ones. Now it's going to be Jerd trying to come back in and counter the play from Crim. He's getting tagged up from both sides, ultimately will fall. Crim, that 4 streak ends up being massive in breaking cell block, and now they're looking to defend.
Yeah, you can see Formal does accidentally kill Scump there, so Optic Gaming won't have all the numbers they want, but thankfully Formal's NV4 is on point right now. He's at 15-11 again. One of the top players in this lobby in overall kills right there. Now he goes over to 16, which will put him in that top spot. Crim doing what he can to hold those spawns. It's Jerd now challenging from that outer wall run. Nice job by Splyce to get the pinch. Can Karma and Scump, though, hold them off? It does appear so.
That's huge, because you lose a couple of players, but your 2 guys that stay up end up holding it off. Karma, Scump getting it done. Karma we haven't talked a lot about. He's 17-10 though right now, and he's been really impressing me. He might have been their MVP in the most recent 2K.
And another thing I do want to point out too is now Optic Gaming, they're seeing how the other teams are doing so far this weekend. And you have now just announced that FaZe Clan are 3-0 in their pool, Luminosity 3-0 in their pool, and Optic Gaming are looking to do the same. When you started Infinite Warfare, Luminosity, FaZe, and Optic, many people regarded as their top 3. Before we got to really see anything, if you made some early predictions, it was those 3, and now they're looking on point here in day number 1. You know Optic want to match their North American brethren.
And what's interesting, the only other team that would be in that conversation, but wasn't due to probably apathy, getting married, not having as much time to scrim, would be Envy. And now Envy looks to be back on point.
They're 2-0 right now.
Not to knock you, but those are probably your top 4 teams right now that you've seen in day 1, right?
That would be the top 4 teams coming into Infinite Warfare, and now after their practice, they're on point here in day number 1 of the pools here at the CWL Atlanta Open. 183 to 116. The cell block hardpoint for Optic, they're just so good at holding it down. It's what's given them this lead twice now in this game.
Well, Scump finds 2, trying to push the back, get control of helipad, get control of scanners. There's Karma trying to trade it out, but just can't find the kill. You see him on X-Ray. Now he's going to be able to get it. Second one there in front. Nice shots. Tags him up, but Mad Cat, how does he win that one?
Not sure how that one works out, but guess what? Formal's there to clean up the scraps. It's what worked so well for this OG team, and now Splyce, this one's getting out of hand quickly. It was a tied game going into the cell block hardpoint, and now Optic Gaming are nearly up by 100 seconds. And look, Splyce are getting desperate. They're trying to hit this outer wall run. OG are ready for it. They're recognizing that this is being 4-hit by Splyce, so what do? They call everybody over. They wipe the Europeans off the map, and that might just seal the deal for Optic, as they want to close out this game right here, right now on the commissary hardpoint.
And they can do it. One more cycle of kills here, and it should be over. Inside of loading is Krem. He does find the kill, getting pushed, I believe.
There's
just
2.
Behind
There's
him.
3.
One more player to kill is going to be Jerd, and that should be it. That should close it down with just over 10 seconds remaining. There's one player, the number 1. It's Mad Cat that might be.
Oh, they spawned behind him. They got a chance to go for this now. As there was so much pressure towards middle map from Crim6 that the spawns actually flipped. Not going to happen yet. Optic Gaming won't win as of this moment, but you've got Karma on a 5 streak. Oh, and he's saluting too. God bless America.
Letting you know at home, he's feeling nice. He's got a couple gunfights here at Scanners, trying to back down.
He's from Canada.
Play his life. Needs one more point, and there it is.
It's not even from you.
Optic Gaming, though, looking very, very strong.
Yeah, they're on point. Smiles from Scump. He's been hanging out in the caster green room, and just seeing him today, he's been focused watching all the other matches, keeping himself involved in the action, and now he's on point. A slower start at the beginning of that map, but in the end, they loop it back together as Splyce will drop that first hardpoint.
Well, Mad Cat and crew trying to get it together, regroup, talk about what maybe went wrong. They played them very tight for the first half of that game. Well, actually, Optic kind of got out to the early lead, right? They battle back in it. Splyce gives them a tough matchup, but then eventually, when you start seeing those
matches still going on tonight, folks, do not go anywhere. When we come back, it's going to be game 3.